What is min-maxing? From the days of velociraptors minimizing their size to maximize their speed and agility, to China minimizing their child labor protections in order to maximize the production of little plastic velociraptor toys, min-maxing has been absolutely revolutionary for velociraptors as we know them today. And I heard a rumor that it can even be applied to video games. You see, I recently had a Grammy-nominated video in which I talked about how rolling your health is worse than taking the average health in Dungeons & Dragons. It's a fairly obvious point if you choose to think about it for a second. The average that D&D offers you is higher than the average value of the dice roll. So, if you want to maximize your health, you just should take the average that is offered to you. I had several min-maxers come in and tell me that I was wrong, that rolling is the only true way to maximize your health. And it made me take a step back to reflect. For the first time in my life, could I have been wrong? Of course not! All of these people are just gamblers that want to shoot for max, even though, statistically, on average, they will end up with less. That's not min-maxing, that's roulette. But honestly, that's kind of irrelevant to the conversation that we're even having. When we talk about min-maxing, we're normally talking about minimizing some trait in order to maximize another. But with health, you always want it to be max. There is no D&D class that wants less health. So, when we look at this, we're looking at rolling an average, you're not giving up anything. There's nothing to minimize in order to maximize something else. And health is the only thing that you don't want to lose in D&D. We're not talking about minsing and maxing, we're just talking about worse versus better. It is always better to have more health. Therefore, this isn't even a min-maxing conversation. That's right, the title was fucking clickbait. Or at least, it was kind of clickbait. The video is really about an argument over what is min-maxing, what is better, and this petty beef that I have with two commenters. However, in the pursuit of that petty beef, I actually uncovered some interesting statistics in regards to just how much better it is to take average health than it is to roll. Rolling is worse than average, you will have less health, and the magnitude of this phenomenon is actually much larger than I originally anticipated. To all of those who told me that I was just splitting hairs in my original short, let's take a look at one of those hairs. Barbarian and wizard. Much like my boss and my hippie Aunt Sally, both of them are at opposite ends of the spectrum, and they both tell me that I'm silly to waste my time making YouTube videos. Barbarians use a D12, which give you these values depending on if you roll or take the average. As you can see, the difference is about 7.4%. Not huge, but not nothing. Wizards, on the other hand, use a D6 and give us these values depending on if you take the roll or average. Still only 10 HP, but now a 13.3% difference overall. 13.3% doesn't really sound like a lot. If it's that small, I might as well roll, just on the off chance that I get higher, right? Well, hold your horses. These numbers can be misleading, and it's worth asking if we're even considering the correct question. How hard is it for a given roller to beat a given average taker? That's the question we're really curious about at the end of the day, because if it's super hard for the roller to beat the average taker, why would you ever take the risk of rolling? For this, we need to determine all of the possible roll sets and see how many give us a total value of 141 or above, which is what the roller would need to get in order to beat the average taker. Now, learning this really took me back to school, but after brushing up on my combinatorics and rudimentary game theory and putting it all together, yeah, I think I'm just kind of too stupid to understand the answer that this dude gave, but while I was trying to troubleshoot my solution, I found a calculator that just did it for me, so hopefully it's right. As you can see, the chance for the barbarian to hit 130 is 51%, which makes sense given that it's the average roll value over 20 levels. However, the chance for it to hit 141 is only 25%. which was honestly kind of surprising to me given the only 7.8% difference that the 10 HP represents. Honestly though, it's not too bad. It's not likely, but it is within a range where you might be able to convince yourself that it's worth it. Wizard, on the other hand, is a totally different ballgame. The chance of a wizard rolling 81 or above across 20 levels is an abysmal 8.7%. That's right, there is less than a 1 in 10 chance that a wizard rolling health will beat a wizard taking average health. And as you can see, all of the other hit die values lie somewhere between these two. Listen, the evidence is plain as day. If you roll, you will lose.
You won't break even, you won't win, you won't do any of that. You understand? You will lose.
And hey, I like gambling as much as the next guy, but if you go to the casino every day and bet on black every day, even if you hit 5-10 days in a row across your career, you will lose. And it's the same way with rolling HP in Dungeons & Dragons. And hey, if you're just rolling because it's fun, more power to you. I'm very much the type of guy that will sacrifice power in the pursuit of fun when I play D&D. But just don't trick yourself into thinking that that's not what you're doing. You're having fun at expense of the number. Don't fool yourself into thinking that you're the big brain at the table because you're giving yourself the highest chance, when all you're really doing is guaranteeing yourself the lowest result. See you next time.